Welcome back to Tutorial Tidbits. I'm Elizabeth St. Hilaire, and this week I'm going to teach you something very simple but very valuable, and that is how to properly wire the back of your cradled wood panel. When you paint the edges of your cradled wood panel and you hang it so that it fits perfectly flat against the wall, you eliminate the need for custom framing, and this makes a big savings in your finished piece, and it allows you to really make a contemporary look with finished edges and no frame molding. So if you've got a few minutes, I'm going to give you a simple tip that will go a long way. Welcome back. So here I've got a floral that I just recently completed, and it's on a 1-inch deep panel. So it's a shallow cradled panel. It's not my traditional 2 inches. I've been working with these 1-inch panels when I travel in order to get them in the suitcase. They're less deep, and I can travel with more wood panels than I would if they were 2-inch. So this is a good one for this lesson, because I want to show you that you can get the hardware on the 1-inch just as well as you can get it on the 2-inch board. The 2-inch gives you, of course, more room, but it can be done on either. So what you're going to want to have is your piece is going to be varnished and sealed up, and you want to have a nice clean surface to work on. Now this is a non-stick silicone surface. It unfortunately reflects the light real bad, but it fortunately nothing sticks to it. And this is a product that came from joggles.com, and I'm going to put a link for it below for you, because it is sold by the foot. So I have it covering my entire work table. How amazing is that? So varnish, paint, spills, water, it all beads up on this and can easily be wiped off, whether it's wet or dry. So you have a nice clean surface, and that's important. You don't want to put your painting face down into a mess. So this is a easy cleanup craft mat surface, and I'm going to give you a link for that below. And I am going to turn my art face down onto that nice clean surface, and I've got this 1-inch lip in here. And what I'm using are what they call D-rings. So they're little D-ring hooks. I will put my Amazon shopping list below, and I have all of the products that I use in this video on my Amazon shopping list. So that link is below. So these are the D-ring hardware. They just have a place for one screw and a place for the wire to go through. So a lot of people are going to want to put these on the outside like that. You don't want to do that, because when this hangs against the wall, you're going to see this from the side, because it is going to cause the wood panel to protrude off the wall slightly. And when you catch the art from the side, you're going to see this hardware. So what you want to do is you want to get it on the inside edge. You want to get it on the inner edge like this, so that this is flush to the wall, and you're going to get your hardware in here. Now, we're also going to use small screws with those. I keep all my hardware in my old jelly jars. I love these for that. And then I've got this great little screwdriver. It has a battery charger that it sits on, and it's cordless, and it's amazing. And I've had it for years and years and years and years, and it just keeps on going. So it's like my favorite tool besides the desk fan. So what I'm going to do is, these hooks are going to go, I'm going to eyeball it, but they're going to go about 1/3 of the way down. So this is a 12 by 12. So they would be about 4 inches down. So 1/3 of a way down, and you can eyeball it. So I'm just going to look at this in thirds. This is going to go about here. It's going to go on the inside edge. I'm going to line the hardware up right there. Get it in tight. And so now you've got your D hanger on the inside edge. So this is flush. I'm going to show you where that sits right here. Right here on the inside edge. Okay, now we're going to eyeball it and get it on the other side about the same place. So 1/3 of the way down on the inside edge. I'm going to try to line it up with the other one. go. So I've got my 2 D-ring hooks now. They're not perfectly level, but it doesn't matter because we're going to put a loop wire on them. If this really bothers you, this one's significantly lower than the other one, we could back it out. But it really won't matter when we hang it with a wire. So we're going to raise that up just a little bit. You could measure it if you were that kind of a person. I'm kind of against numbers altogether, so I don't really like measuring things. There we go. Okay, that's closer. Now I've got wire cutters and coated picture frame hanging wire. Again, all of this is on my Amazon shopping list, link below. So I'm gonna cut a piece that gives me enough to loop up to the top and loop through both of these hooks. So a little more is better than not enough. I'm gonna cut that with the wire cutters. Set that aside. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna go through the D hook, and then you come around and you go down through the D hook again. So you take your wire and you come through the D hook and then through a second time. That's important because when this wire gets tension pulled on it, if you only go through one loop, it can slide out. So you're going to go through that D-ring twice, loop twice, and then you're going to take your loose end and wrap it around. So you're twisting it around. And it ends up like that. Now, some shows will ask you to tape this because this little bit of the end of that wire can be quite pokey. It can poke someone in the finger. So I've noticed that on some shows, they ask you to run a little tape around that to make sure that that's not going to poke anybody. I've also seen framers use a little bit of tin foil. They take a little bit of piece of tin foil and wrap it around that. See, I'm already bleeding from being poked. So that's a perfect example of why they want that wrapped up. Okay, so I just trimmed it, but you can take a little piece of masking tape and wrap it around it so that you don't suffer the art-related injuries. So again, we're going to do that on the other side. We're going to go through, and then we're going to go back down through again a second time. And I'm going to measure this wire, the distance that I want, where I want this wire is to so that it touches the top. I want it to just touch here so that it has enough slack to catch on a nail on the wall, but that it doesn't come up to this area that I want mounted flush against the wall. So we want just enough slack that it could sort of almost touch the top, but not any higher. So then I'm going to pull this tight, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to, after I go through twice, I'm going to twist it around the main wire 2 or 3 or 4 times so that I get this. And then I'm going to cut it off close. And now you've got your wire touching the top. You've got, it doesn't matter if these are perfectly even because the wire is going to, sort of compensate between them 1/3 of the way down. And your whole back is nice and smooth and flush, so this can go right up against the wall. Now, when I finish my artwork, I have a sticker that I put here with my information. My stickers I designed myself, and then I had them printed on vistaprint.com. So the sticker basically has my name, my logo, my website, and my email. So if this piece is purchased through a gallery or a show and I am not able to give my contact information, it will be on the back. And I think either way, even if you sell it directly, this is a great idea to have all your contact information on the back so that when your collector wants to come back to you and buy another piece, they know where to find you. So that's vistaprint.com, and it has all my contact information, and it sticks right down to the back, and it makes for a nice presentation. Our edges are all smooth and devoid of any hardware, so this will mount flush to the wall when you hang it, and your hanging hardware is inside. And again, you may want to wrap a little bit of masking tape or tinfoil around the sharp edges so that you don't suffer like I did. Anyway, thank you for being here, and happy Friday.